it's Natasha and thank you so much for joining me today. Well, recently you will have seen in my videos that I got a couple of the items from the Floral Elegance collection. Now this paper pad here, there are 24 designs in here. They are all double-sided and they are pearlescent. So they have this gorgeous sort of golden shine to them. Now these are 200 GSM weight sheets, so they have a good decent bit of weight behind them, which I love and appreciate as well. I made some gold dipped flowers out of these last week, so if you're interested in that you can also check out that. I also made a little box, a gift box as well. Now I have this Gina K, the Peach Bellini paper that pretty much, it coordinates really well with these two. And so with all of these projects that I have been doing, I have had a lot of scraps and offcuts and things, and I've just been putting them aside, knowing that I was never going to throw them out. They were never going in the bin, but I just knew that I wasn't worried when I had to cut off strips because I will make some projects with these. So that's what today's video is. I want to show you lots of different ways that you can use up strip scraps. Now this doesn't matter obviously what the pattern is, where they came from. These might be offcuts of your jelly printing. These might just be random offcuts from background pages that you've made. It could be anything. And one of my first types that I love to do with scraps is what I can call a floating page. I made a little floating element card. And this is the technique that I use to make that, except for you just take it one step further. Now these are the acetate sheets that I use. See down the bottom there, it says works well with metal dies. So if you are wanting to do the floating element and you are wanting to cut them out with dies, this is a fantastic acetate for that. And this is one of the main reasons that I get this acetate, because I don't want to have several packets in my drawers that, you know, I can only use some for this and some for that. If I can make one product do it all, then that's the type of product I need, because I truly have a very small craft space. I have barely any room, and so I need to really prioritize the items that I have. So items that can do more than one thing are fantastic. So I'm going to use this to pop up some of these strips. Now this is the tear tape from Pink and Main, which I absolutely love. I also have some thinner tape from scrapbook.com, just any double-sided tape, because when I'm going onto acetate I prefer to use a double-sided tape rather than liquid adhesive. It adheres much better onto the plastic. And so I have just used all of the floral blue. I have like kind of floral peachy colored ones, then I have the actual peach paper, and then I have these sort of floral blue prints, and I've gone with the blue ones for this. These were all pre-cut, so I didn't get to choose, but I mean, if you want to, by all means you could go ahead and cut these strips on purpose for this technique, because it is beautiful as well. And then this gives us a lot of options from here. You can cut this down and have the floating element sort of with a nice little border around your card and keep it as a big rectangle. From here you can also die cut out the shapes that I was talking about to create a floating element. Now all of these cards that I'm talking about, the gold dip flowers, the floating element card, I will have all of these linked at the end screen at the end of this video, so that you don't have to, you know, go searching for them. So the videos that I mentioned during this video will be linked at the end, but I can also list them in the description box down below this video in case you would like to check them out there too. Now I have moved on to foam tape on the back. Now I've done the majority. I don't think we have to do every single strip here. It's going to be more than supported. I'm going to go for the whole panel at this point, and this has been cut down to 4 by 5 1/4, and that's going to leave a gorgeous little border around the outside, sort of what matches what goes through the center of the strips. Now I'm going to move on and do a few of these before I finish off a couple of cards. Now this one here is a really fun one, and this is so easy to do as well. All you need is a sheet of double-sided adhesive. I like the scrapbook.com ones for this because they are nice and thick and not too fiddly to work with. These are not generally the ones that I do my die cutting out of, just because they are a little bit thicker, which in this case is a plus for us. It makes life a lot easier. And at this stage I'm going to use both sides of the floral blue one, because that's like a solid blue on the other side, still pearlescent, still beautiful. And then I'm going to use some of the peach Bellini scraps, and then some of the blues and the sort of peachy floral scraps as well, so I can use all of them on this one. And if this is all you want to do, create these into backgrounds. There are so many different ways to end up using these. I have a whole lot of using up scraps on my channel. I think there's even a whole playlist of them. A wonderful way to use up scraps for sure. Then you can cut off all of these excess pieces, and you'll notice that I actually haven't finished that corner. I'm going to cut some of these pieces first and then fill up those last little bits with the scraps. But don't even throw these ones away, because now some of these have these beautiful almost like mitered edges, you know, these angular edges on them that we can use for another card as well. All of these are so simple. They take almost no time at all. If you were like me and just shortchanged a couple of these strips, then that adhesive is strong enough to hold all those little pieces, and we have a beautiful panel ready to go. You can see when I'm going to put this down onto my card base, it has that beautiful sharp white border around it. So adding a sentiment onto there is going to be super easy. I would definitely do it in white to help it stand out as well. Now, this one here is another really fun technique. So these strips, you could cut these with scissors if you want to, but I don't trust myself to get them somewhat straight, so I'm actually going to run these through my trimmer. Now, I picked these ones out of my scrap pile at the beginning because they are all, I think, 3/4 of an inch wide. That makes it easier for me doing this technique, but then I just cut them up randomly. It doesn't matter the length of these strips as long as the width is going to be the same, because we are going to create a brick looking background with these. So I do the like the blue florals and the peach Bellini, and this is so simple as well. All you are going to do is glue these down like a brick. So I'm going to stagger these so that the joins as such are going to be, you know, not all lined up, and I want them to be all over the card. I also want to try and make sure, to the best of my ability, that we rotate through the orangey florals, the blue florals, and the peach kind of. And the only thing to remember is the space I'm pointing out here between the bricks and up and above the bricks. Those are the only things that you really want to concentrate on here, and try and keep those a similar distance, and that's what makes this card. It doesn't really matter where the joins are, you just want to keep that spacing as even as possible. And the way that I go about that, or that helps me, is by using that liquid glue. And I use the Ranger Multi-Medium in the matte style, and I also actually picked up some art glitter glue recently. I've been using it in the background for a while, and I will share my thoughts on that soon, but this one here I'm definitely using the matte medium. I can cut off any extras. Remember, don't finish all of it, because all of these little pieces here, we can keep using these. See, I've still got more to go, and we may as well make use of those pieces that we are cutting off. So as I said, I'm trying to rotate through and make sure that not too many of the blues are next to each other, not too many of the peaches are next to each other, and you just want those lines, those join lines, all at different stages. So that is one of my most favorite and effective backgrounds to create. I love doing this. If you want to go extra and all out, you could also pop the bricks up on some fun foam. That would look beautiful as well. Now, this one is the one where we had those edges, those mitered edges that have the angle on them, and I'm actually going to copy that edge, put them behind some, and create a few more, because I didn't quite have enough to do my project. But keep it simple and just line these all up on an angle. Again, trying to make sure I have a good mix of patterns. At this point, we are getting low on our strips and our scraps though, so we kind of have to make the most of it. But actually, these are stunning, simple cards to create. Now, you can actually, on an envelope, if you would like to custom make or customize an envelope that is pre-made, you can add these strips on just to like a small portion or a corner or a section. I've shown it in my chop it up videos where I do that, how I go about decorating all of the envelopes so that they coordinate, because I had a bunch of pre-made white envelopes and I wanted to make them look a little more matchy. So that is one way that you can go about it, do that sort of design, the last one that we did, but on envelopes. But as I said, I have lots of different ways that I have shown you how to do that in those chop it up videos, and here are 4 really simple designs to do with strips. All of those are very easily doable. Now, let's finish off a card, because this is from the friend word is from the Master Layouts 9 from Gina K. And then I also have this singular hello that I'm also going to use as well. Now this cuts out the individual letters, whereas the word friend is all joined together. And I'm going to use some of that peach Bellini cardstock, but I want to do something a little bit fun here. So this is the Stick It double-sided adhesive, because we are going to sort of gold dip some of these letters. Now I have the Stick It because it is much thinner and fantastic for die cutting. I can sometimes get a clean cut using the scrapbook.com double-sided adhesive sheets, but I prefer a thinner one, and the Sizzix one is great for this as well. The Sizzix permanent adhesive sheets, I absolutely love those, as well as this Stick It one. Now I'm going to put that die, so actually the adhesive here is on the front. So I am die cutting these so that we are able to dip these in gold, and the adhesive is on the front of those letters. I roughly tried to get it at the halfway line. It doesn't matter if it's not perfect. Never fear, nobody is going to point that out, that it might not be exactly the halfway line, but give or take. I take out each one of those individual ones, and then when I'm looking at the scrap here, I'm like, wait a minute, this would be fantastic as well. So let me hold up and just get sidetracked for a second. And I'm just going to even up the edges a little bit using my trimmer. The trimmer cuts beautifully through that adhesive. Nothing gets stuck on the trimmer or the blade or anything, which is fantastic. And then this piece here, now that we've evened up all of the edges, I can put some foil down on that sticky piece, and this is going to look beautiful too. So never underestimate that we can use the positive and the negative of our die cutting. Okay, so this is a really easy process just because I have used the double-sided adhesive here, and all I need to do is peel off the release paper and then pop down the foil sheets and then pull them off, and we have the most beautiful, stunning rose gold shine that we can add that extra little bit of sparkle to this card. This is a really easy way to go about adding the foil. I don't own any hot foiling machines or anything like that, so using the adhesive is a great way for me to be able to still add that beautiful shine that foil gives. Then again, I'm going to do it with this word friend. It is a little bit more delicate, but we're still going to be able to do it just fine. Another way that you could potentially do it is to do the die cutting second. So you would foil a piece of the cardstock, half of the cardstock first, and then die cut it. However, I find that leaves a lot of die marks in the foil, I guess. It's a little bit more delicate as you run it through your machine. It's going to leave indents and marks. So I like to do it this way around, and this works pretty well for me. So I also did that other scrap here, and look how good that looks. I think even that by itself is really beautiful. And if you miss a spot, just put the foil back on, press it down again, and it will adhere nicely, and you can't see that there's, you know, anything that you skipped the first time. Now let's finish this off super simple, because that background is pretty bold. There's a lot of color and things going on there, so I'm going to use a little vellum circle just to bring it back just a touch. And so I will add the letters on top of that. I actually don't have adhesive behind this. I probably could have put some adhesive on the back of this, some of the Stick It adhesive, and that would have made it easier to adhere it, but that's okay. I'm happy to spend a minute to go through and put some strips of double-sided tape on the back there. I prefer, as I said, the dry adhesive, the double-sided tape, rather than liquid adhesive. It also runs, if you use liquid adhesive, it runs the risk of it buckling a little bit or warping, so I don't want that to happen at this point, particularly with how much effort I've put into everything. So just the double-sided tape is going to work beautifully. So I hope that you have found this video useful. At the end of this video, as I said, I will leave some links on the ending page here. There will be some more video suggestions that you might find helpful around the videos that I've mentioned in today's video. You can also find those links down below this video if you would like to as well. Don't forget to go and check out my new website. I have some card making classes available there, and lots of other videos that won't be here on YouTube. But don't worry, YouTube's not going anywhere. I will be here as well. And other than that, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you being here and watching this. If you like this, then give this a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. But I will see you next time. Thanks.